I love coffee, I love tea, I love the jive and it loves me.
Okay, welcome to another episode of Coffee with Connie. And I'm here today with Dorian Dale, who is the town of Babylon's energy czar. Is that correct, Dorian?
I think they refer to it as director, but in private, I like to say czar.
Yeah. And the town of Babylon has just instituted a very, very important program, which is the Green Homes Initiative. Can you tell us just a little bit of how that works?
Sure, Connie. A program that we took over a year to design with the supervisor in the lead, and we wanted to figure out how to bring energy efficiencies to residential houses. And base it on something that's called the ESCO model. Are you familiar with that?
No.
ESCO is an acronym for Energy Services Company.
Okay.
Basically what energy services companies currently do is they come to municipalities like Brookhaven, or your school you're along with, I believe, right?
Yes.
And they go in and they evaluate all the fixtures and the boilers and so on and so forth, and they come up.
So an energy audit.
It's also the work itself,
in
which they'll do millions of dollars worth of work at the kind of municipal or school level, and they guarantee that the savings you realize as a result of all those energy efficiencies will, in effect, pay for the work that's been done.
Right.
And that's the same principle we wanted to bring to the homes.
Okay.
And I think we've done that with Long Island Green Homes.
Okay. So a homeowner would come to who is interested, come to the town of Babylon and say, I would like to have an energy assessment or an energy audit of my home, and then what would be the next step?
We'd send them out a building performance specialist who would come in and do a blower door test.
Okay.
A blower door test
Yes.
is a. Are you familiar with it?
Yes, I am. Well,
Okay.
we have the Energy Star.
Right, exactly. You have the HERS
Yes.
raters who do
Yes.
the same thing.
Right.
And it's just a big fan that sucks the air out of the house and decompresses it. And as the air is filtering back in through the cracks and crevices, you go around with an infrared camera, you can see where all the leaks are and where the insufficient insulation is.
Okay.
And at the end of the day, it really amounts to the house usually being anywhere from 20 to 40% energy inefficient. They take all that information, including historical billing data, they go back to an energy software that we're using, they model it, they come up with a list of measures for the homeowner to choose from, each of which has a specific cost, simple payback, and something called an SIR, which is a savings to investment ratio, so the homeowner can evaluate what they think is going to be the most cost-effective changes for their home.
Okay. Does that also include appliances, or it's just making the home tighter?
It's principally making the home tighter. We are also coordinating with LIPA, so there are appliances that the homeowner can avail themselves through the LIPA program. But primarily, we're looking to seal the thermal envelope, which is basically weather stripping, caulking, air sealing, insulation, and finally, and most importantly, change over old boilers or furnaces that are inefficient. And those are the core measures because we have determined that those are the most cost effective for the homeowner.
And then you guarantee that the savings are going to be greater than what has to be paid each month or each year by the homeowner?
Well, that's the one minor point of departure from the larger ESCO model.
Okay.
We project that the usage savings will certainly be substantial in the first year. Given the way rates change all the time, obviously the elevations and decreases in heating, oil heating costs, for example, you can't, I think, specifically do that. But we try to structure the payment, the obligation, to be slightly less than what the projected savings are going to be. In most cases, but it's not a guarantee.
So, in effect, and I think everybody watching knows that these are very, very difficult economic times.
Yes.
So this would help not only the environment by reducing carbon footprint, but it would also, in general, help the homeowner with increased energy savings.
Absolutely. And what we're doing, in effect, is providing up to $12,000 worth of improvements that the town will be paying upfront for. And then subsequently, the homeowner will be making monthly payments that, as indicated, are roughly equivalent to their savings.
Okay. And both Babylon and the town of Brookhaven had passed the Energy Star legislation, but the Energy Star legislation pertains only to the new homes. in the town of Brookhaven. So this would affect the homes that are probably the least energy efficient, and that is some of the older homes that are already existing. And that's one of the big advantages of the Green Homes Initiative.
Absolutely.
Dorian, have they done this in other places? And if so, how is the program that has been adopted in Babylon different than programs adopted elsewhere in the United States?
You know, Connie, they've tried it in other places. Generally, they've either been run by utilities, and in most cases, utilities don't really have a vested interest in seeing efficiency programs succeed. For a very simple reason, selling a product, which is energy, and you're telling your consumer not to use your product. It's slight conflict going on there. You know, obviously in our case, the Long Island Power Authority is a public authority, problem, and that is billions of dollars worth of debt left over from Shoreham, which they are obliged to service every month. They, I think, are making efforts in the efficiency areas, but they haven't been able to reach any real significant numbers. You've seen other programs where this has been attempted, but I think this is the first that really eliminates a lot of the financial barriers and a lot of the obstacles for why homeowners customarily don't go forward with this kind of stuff.
It sounds like a great program, and obviously it's a win for the environment, it's a win for the homeowners economically. And you know, one of the things that attracted me to it, and I first saw it as I spoke to you earlier, the program in Milwaukee called Me Too, and then Babylon, of course, adopted the program, was the fact that it creates green jobs or green collar jobs. So now we have people working in the economy that are benefiting the environment. So this is, I think, a big win. You have the homeowners are saving money that they can put in their pockets, then use in the local economy. We're hiring local craftsmen to do the work. And we're benefiting the environment. I mean, I think it's great. The town of Brookhaven. Where did you get your inspiration from? Town of Babylon.
I think there have been a number of inspirations. As you mentioned, Milwaukee. We looked at Portland.
Oh, really? Okay.
We looked at Portland, which has done phenomenal work in the areas.
They got a great reputation, environmental.
Tremendous reputation. In fact, one of the great exchanges we've had in the interim is from a former head of the residential building program, who's now with the Clinton Foundation, and it called us up to ask us about the program. So I think what Babylon really is doing is it's drawing on work that's been done in places like Milwaukee, Portland, San Francisco, and finally we had also noted that Boulder had at one point actually levied an extra solid waste tax to finance their
Boulder, Colorado,
to finance their green initiatives. And we said, solid waste. There might be some money to be had in that area. So that's how we then, decided to access our own solid waste fund. And as you might recall, we then passed legislation that expanded the definition of solid waste to include the carbon content of energy waste.
So you have defined carbon as a solid waste, and that's how you're accessing the monies in your...
Well, carbon dioxide is 27% carbon, and carbon is a solid,
Right? Yeah, that's one of the things that we are looking at to emulate from the town of Babylon. What else can other local governments learn from Babylon, from the Babylon model?
Well, Connie, we're really trying to vigorously, structure a program that really is a model that can be transported elsewhere. And so we're also proceeding, I think, on a not overly ambitious scale. You might have heard of other programs that are talking about doing thousands of houses right off the bat. We've allocated enough, I think, to do anywhere from 300 to 400 homes. We've already, as I mentioned to you earlier, have a couple of hundred homeowners who've expressed an interest, and there have already been some 40 who've signed up. One contractor that's in fact been working with us on this program has just hired.
I love coffee, I love tea, I love the Java Jive and it loves me. Coffee and tea and the Java and me, a cup, a cup, a cup, a cup, a cup. I love Java.